Hey guys, welcome back. BTC Carry here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of January 7th, 2020. We wished you this last time when it was New Year's Eve, but Happy New Year, officially.
Yeah.
It's a weird year, but this isn't the place to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week.
Yeah, so getting into the Injustice content, the current character challenge is Classic Scorpion, and that is a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are Nightwing, Catwoman, and Aquaman, who you can get at Bronze, and Challenge or Multiplayer Gold, respectively. So not the easiest for newer and incoming players, but the fact that two of them are Bronze means that it's also not the worst, worst. His passive is Fire of Hell, which is Scorpion summons Fire of Hell around him for 10 seconds after tagging. It reflects half the special damage back at the opponent and inflicts fire damage over 6 seconds, and then Scorpion is also immune to fire. He's got 1,400 attack and 1,200 health, and he was last available in December of 2019.
Yeah. He's got pretty high stats.
Yeah.
And it's funny, all right, so I'm going to talk on a meta level. He's got 3 sentences in his passive. Usually each sentence is one ability. Yeah. And the first sentence is not ability. It's sort of defining how long it lasts. But then the next 2 sentences actually technically have 3 abilities. You know what I mean? Like, true. It's funny. So it's a pretty good passive. Reflecting half the damage is better than when the comparable you've got is Flashpoint Aquaman's, which reflects 40%, right? So 50 is better than 40. 10 seconds after tagging, though, it's probably worse than Flashpoint Aquaman's because his will last until the first special. Because it's really unlikely, I think, that you're going to face more than one special in 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. And there's even a chance that you won't get hit with a special in the first 10 seconds. So that part of it, there's a chance that it may not have an impact at all.
Yeah.
As opposed to Aquaman, where it will almost definitely. And fire damage over time is good. It's really only a problem if you face a Blackest Night Flash team. Mm-hmm. And so what's funny about that, though, is that...
or if it gets reflected onto him, I guess, somehow. Or it can't.
It can't, because
never mind, yeah.
Yeah, he's immune to fire.
Yeah.
So... the amount of damage is potentially huge because not only is getting half the damage back, but you're also taking fire damage, right? Mm-hmm. And I've seen this a couple times when we're doing New 52-1 when we indiscriminately smack him with our specials.
Yeah.
And so immunity fire, it's okay, but it's very limited because most of the damage over time that we worry about, I guess Ibis Stick, there's fire. A lot of the gear damage over time is fire.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it makes a huge difference. And, when you've got the point of comparison of Blackest Night Flash, wouldn't it be so much better, instead of just being immune, it gave him something? So that, because it's only 1 damage over time, like Blackest Night Flash, it's all damage over time. If he gets hit with fire, that would empower him.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem is he's got good stats. His passive is okay, it's not great. The biggest problem is that he's slow like all the Scorpions, so I just tend to avoid playing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
He's not very satisfying to play with.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. This week's multiplayer reward is Cassandra Cain Batgirl, whose passive is Assassin's Ambush, which is on tagging Cassandra Cain attacks, causing opponent to lose 25% of current health. She's got 1150 attack and 950 health. She was last available in June of 2020.
So maybe before we talk about Cassandra Cain Batgirl as a reward, we need to talk about this also in a meta kind of way, that the multiplayer reward schedule has done something funky again, right? So we had a quick interruption where we got Ibis Stick, or the Mysterious Artifact. That's what it starts with, replacing what should have been in the schedule, Mother Box, or the Alien Artifact, right? They swapped out the 2 artifacts. We are back to Cassandra Cain Batgirl as if nothing had happened differently last week.
Mm-hmm.
So... I guess it's weird because you'd think if they were going to do something, they wouldn't be doing it like this. There's still no indication that Arkham Origins Deadshot or Scarecrow's Ventilator Mask is getting a spot back in the rotation. They have not been available since March 2019. Mm-hmm. So it's just weird. Like, I don't know what they're playing at, because if there was any kind of method to what they're doing, this is not...
Yeah, it didn't seem like they accomplished anything, but it did seem like they changed something, which is strange.
Well, I don't miss Mother Box. Mother Box is not the best gear.
Yeah.
So she's got lowish stats, and along with Ares, she was one of the first multiplayer character rewards, which is why, even though her stats are low now, they weren't at the time when she was released. And her passive, compared to Scorpion, right? Her passive is 1 ability.
Yeah.
But it's a good one. And 25% of health reduction would be great, and even better if it was their maximum, but it's current. So it's very difficult to knock someone out with her passive, unlike Teen Titans Raven, which I've been playing with a lot more recently, where her passive can knock out someone after her special completes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with Cassandra King Batgirl, if your opponent's down to 1 health from bleeding or whatever, that you might be able to. I can't remember now because I meant to test this and I never got around to it. It's fun when you want to play with her to lean into that tagging damage, right? You give her Claw of Horus, that's another 10%.
Yeah.
And you do that over and over, you can really, especially with characters that have much higher health.
Yeah, and it has diminishing returns, but this is the kind of thing that's also, the type of ability that's more useful in, for, let's say, Survivor.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can have people whose health stats are not actually tied to your health stats.
Right.
In terms of matchups.
And she's fast. Her basics are really fast. I feel like she's faster than any of the other Batgirls. She's got the same special 1 as all the Batgirls. It stuns at the beginning, so she's great for Cloak of Destiny or Necron Scythe and League of Assassins Knives. But the problem is that her passive breaks stun. So if you stun with gear on tag in like Cloak of Destiny, they won't stay stunned for you to take advantage of the Cloak of Destiny's ability because her passive wakes them up.
Yeah, so a little unfortunate.
Yeah, so great card. Like you said, her passive scales up to her opponent. The only way we'd really want to improve her, especially given how much lower or how much higher everybody else's stats are now.
Yeah.
You could make her so much better even by just tweaking her passives and saying 25% of maximum health. Yeah. But
although I think that would be a little high. I think 4 tag-ins for a knockout, especially in something like Survivor, might be eventually a little high. So I think if it was 20% or something of max health, like making the percentage lower, but making it max health instead of total health.
Still be improvement.
Yeah, because she would be a lot more consistent, and she would always be useful as a tag-in instead of, useful early and then less useful the longer the fight's been going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In the store, we have the Justice League pack for $26.99 Canadian, and that comes with Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman Regime.
And what's funny is that they have an exclamation mark, right?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman Regime. Oh my gosh, this is such a... It's not. 2 of the characters are already in your store. Aquaman, I mean, part of me feels like, whether they actually intended this or not, that it's a squeeze to try to get some money so that you can get the challenge character to complete the challenge.
Yeah, and honestly, if you have a lot of time to play, and that's the only thing that you're missing, and you don't have any way of getting it, I think it kind of would be worth it for a new player. If a new player is making a purchase, I think if they have enough time on their hands that they're going to be able to grind the challenge, then being able to complete it and reset it is actually worth a good chunk of, its value.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a way of earning credits.
The exclamation mark is just, it feels like a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's only one sort of new pack this week.
Mm-hmm. And in our Survivor, we have the Suicide Squad gear set until the 13th of January 2021. I almost said 2020, but I have to remember it's a new year. Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is still broken as always. And last weekend's breakthrough was Bane, Killer Frost, and Ares as expected. And next weekend is probably Sinestro, Green Arrow, and Scorpion based on the schedule.
Right. Link in the description to a Reddit thread started by Devlin16 going over the complete breakthrough cycle if you want to just look that over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to current glitches. Remember that every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist, so they're all video tutorials, right? You can reach it by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we can only confirm these glitches for Android, but we will mention some iOS glitches that viewers have mentioned that seem to have had good feedback from commenters.
Mm-hmm. So starting off with the significant not working glitches, there is no working glitch for credits that we're willing to endorse. There is one that exists that you can find online if you really want, but we are not willing to talk about it or showcase it on our own channel, and we talk about that in a lot more detail on Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and C&A&T.
Yeah.
In terms of other stuff that you can't do, that you might want to do, or that maybe you used to be able to do, there's nothing for getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards. There's nothing for getting early multiplayer season rewards. There is nothing in terms of glitches to get through the Phantom Zone quickly.
Well, and even though we don't have it, iOS, I think, still has another week left in their Phantom Zone.
Yeah. So there are strategies to do it quicker, but there's nothing that lets you do it faster than the developers intended.
Right.
And there is also no free energy button skip glitch because there's no free energy button in the first place to watch a video. Right. So there's no way to skip the video.
Right. So getting on to working glitches, the challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working, confirmed on current Classic Scorpion challenge. Just to note, it's the same as the Phantom Zone reset glitch. So keep that in mind just as you're tracking your progress and what you're resetting both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if you're going to be doing the reset glitch on Android 10, this is what we've heard, that you're being forced to re-download more than a gig of data. We're on Android 9, so we can't say.
Yeah.
But we've got a comment that we've cut and pasted in the description from Tammy Cacte about which file you want to move around on your device so that you can just shift it instead of re-downloading it.
Yeah, saves data, saves time.
Yeah.
Seems like worthwhile.
Saves
Doesn't
electrons.
save space.
Saves electrons.
It does not save storage space on your phone, though. And there we go. We also have a comment from viewer Jonathan Yang if you're trying to reset the challenge on an iOS device, and we've only had positive feedback for that. I think we had another person saying it worked not too long ago.
Yeah.
The breakthrough glitch let you play it repeatedly is still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is also working. That's good for anything that gives you a random reward that does not require an internet connection to redeem.
Right.
So that's generally everything with a random reward except for Phantom Zone for us.
Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. Always remember, bring your countdown clock back to normal before you finish, or you will be complaining about stuff going wrong with your game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there we go. And last but not least, in between not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch, where we can promote characters that are still locked. Hasn't had the right conditions for a very long time now. It's not testable, it's not usable, but it has never failed us, so it's still in here on a technicality. We're letting it scrape by.
Yeah. And that's it for this week. So we always like to thank our patrons on Patreon who've been supporting us. That is a big thank you to Console Peasant and Ed Woon at the top tier last word, Mohammed Al-Shady at the Your Message Here tier, Sean Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Mall, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddie Du at the credited level, and Chris Wolf, Scarlett Danny, Awesome Gamer 2for1, Pavu RS, Gavin Malott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level.
There we go. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.